I'm Olive Nete. Hope you had a restful weekend. Now on health matters, some people in the northern province see that there is need to reduce alcohol consumption because it is among the causes of conflict, poverty and non-compliance with government programs. They are saying this while this province is leading in the countries in having the highest number of those who consume alcohol more than others in the country. We have details on the story. Susan Mukaruhirwa is a 70-year-old woman. She lives in Gicumbi district in the northern province. She says that she enjoys consuming alcohol more than any other drink. The same goes to Celeste Mutabaruka. I usually drink homemade beer and it makes me feel good.
I only drink water when I'm sick, and when it's a recommendation of the doctor, I stop it.
Some people who have tested alcohol and quit drinking testify that quitting drinking is a very hard decision.
It is difficult to know what composes alcohol. Maybe those who studied sciences can't be able to know why people love alcohol that much. Those who consume it may not be able to get sleep in the night because of not drinking. And when they get some money in the morning, they are again tempted to drink again.
In this area, it is not easy to pass by without seeing a group of people who are talking in the bars, drinking alcohol, although there are also a few people in the bars who are taking soft drinks. Some residents are worried that this province is leading in having the highest number of alcohol consumers in the country. They advise them to reduce the amount of alcohol they drink and possibly even quit. There are so many negative effects of alcohol. Some may be having like 1,000 and would drink for it without taking into consideration the responsibilities they have at home. This also affects your plan as a man, because at some point you may work for 100,000 Rwandan francs, and maybe that money was dedicated for a beneficial project, and then you end up using the money in drinking. Apart from the fact that alcohol can lead to poverty and other various problems, the Minister of Health, Dr. Saben Sanzimana, explained that it also affects people's health.
Usanga inzoga uko yabingana kose igira ingaruka ku mubiri.
Whatever amount of alcohol you may consume, be it big quantity or small one, it has effects on the health of people. Alcohol is among of the most risk factors to leading cancer nowadays. Most especially, it leads to throat cancer, liver, gastric, and pancreas cancer. All of that due to the alcohol. Alcohol is among the risky factors to hypertension. It also severely affects the function of the brain.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, during his speech on the celebration of the 29th Liberation Day, criticized people who abuse alcohol drinking and also noted that alcohol is harmful, especially when people drink without eating properly.
You can either choose between drinking water or alcohol. I heard it has increased. Where do they get the means? Most of alcoholic drinks are bought. They say that they don't get money for survival, yet they find money for alcohol. They are not saying the truth. Rather than buying alcohol while you are starving, you can choose to buy food instead. All of this depends on the mindset of people.
According to the recent research of the Rwanda Biomedical Center, 48% of all Rwandans drink alcohol, of which 61.9% are men. The northern province leads with a percentage of 56.6%, the southern with 51.6%, the western has 46.5%, the eastern province has 43.9%, and the city of Kigali has 42%. Moving ahead with infrastructure-related matters, the Ministry of Infrastructure announced that the Nyabarongo second hydroelectric power plant will be completed in 2026, which will provide energy that equals to 43 megawatts that will solve lack of electricity issues that reaches different sites of the country. Meanwhile, ongoing activities of construction of the power plant will stop transportation activities on the Gitichinyoni Nzove Ruri Gatenye Road starting on Monday. Samili Wase with the report.
Construction projects of this hydroelectric power plant of the second Nyabarongo is nearby Gakenye, Rulindo districts. Adequate equipment are being used in the start of the construction activities where the Nyabarongo River will pass through the hydroelectric power plant. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure, Abimana Fidel, states that the hydroelectric power plant will fill the gap of electricity issues that manifest in different parts of the country.
They told us they will close the road on Sunday so that they can continue their activities of constructing the grid. Now they have started the project. I'm coming from Kigali, but the road is closed. I'm returning back. I can't use Muhondo Road. It's too expensive. I have decided to return back to Kigali.
Due to ongoing construction projects of this hydroelectric power plant and water of Nyabarongo River that was misled in the earlier course by the close of using Gitichinyoni ends of a road in Muhondo and Gakenye district. Citizens in use of this road heading to healthcare services, buying and selling goods with others in districts that used to reach there are wondering on how they are going to get out of this situation. We used to use this road and the Gakenye citizens delivered us different goods. And we even used to travel there seeking healthcare services. What will happen to us when they close the road? Citizens' problems are being answered by the Permanent Secretary in Ministry of Infrastructure, Abimana Fidel. He states that there are roads provided the citizens will use. It's been 1 year of the construction activities of this hydroelectric power plant. It is planned that it will be completed in 2026 and it will be equivalent to $210 million. Samili Wase, RTV News.
Thank you, Samili, for the informative report. Now, economic analysts note that the fact that Rwanda has reached 87% in terms of self-sufficiency in the budget is a sign of self-improvement in economy, which gives hope of achieving more in 2050 vision. Adam Squizera with the report.
The positive changes in Rwanda's economy began after 1994 genocide against Tutsi. Some people who were in Rwanda by that time, especially in the city of Kigali, points out that now the country's development is obvious.
nari muri mu 94 mu kwezi kwa karindwi itariki 25.
I was here in 1994, July on 25th. I know the way the city was looking like. Now take a look at all the houses that was built and take a look to the hotels that was built, plus the tourism that is generating the income from all these infrastructures. Literally shows the change in the country's economy. When we take a look on how the country was looking like before, where the life expectancy was 49 and now we are at 69, itself means a lot. Francois Kanimba, the former governor of the Central Bank of Rwanda BNL, noted that before the genocide against Tutsi, the country's economy was at a very low level. Kanimba affirmed that after 1994 genocide against Tutsi, the management and the financial restructure was the key players for the country's economic growth. I really remember that before 1994, the national budget, with tax and financial aid inclusive, was not more than 25 billion Rwandan francs. It's been around 30 years, and we are at more than 5,000 billion Rwandan francs. Literally shows a positive change in terms of tax management and also emphasizing Rwandans to pay tax and understand the benefits in paying those taxes. In 1994, the national budget was 56 billion Rwandan francs with 90% foreign aid, whereas in 2018-2019 finance year, the national budget was 2,443.5 billion Rwandan francs, while in 2023-2024, the national budget will be 5,030 billion Rwandan francs, where 13% of this year's budget will be from foreign aid. The infrastructure sector is one of the major contributors to the country's development, as explained by the Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Ernest Nsabimana. I think before the genocide against Tutsi, the asphalt roads was not more than 1,000 kilometers. But now we have more than 205,000 kilometers of asphalt roads countrywide. You even saw that more roads construction, the more we get developed infrastructures, plus even this development of the secondary cities. Another sign of the country's progress in terms of the citizens who get access to financial services, which has increased from 14% in 2008 to 93%, according to BNR. In 2022, the GDP increased to 8.2%, whereas the agriculture sector was at 25%, while service sector contributed up to 47%. This is where Francois Kanimba notes that having such country with sustainable development requires a high developed sector of service delivery.
Kugeza ubu iyo urebye usanga urwego rwa serivisi.
Currently, the service sector shows the opportunities that Rwanda has, as I think that in coming years, the line we are on in the service delivery should develop, especially in developing online services. That's where Rwanda got many opportunities.
Niho ubona u Rwanda rufite amahirwe.
Rwanda is ranked second in doing business report on the African continent in terms of facilitating the investors, which plays a vital role in the creation of job opportunities to the local citizens, hence to increase their income per capita. In 1994, a Rwandan local resident earned $146 per year, while in 2018, a local resident earned $778 a year. It is expected that in 2035, a Rwandan local resident will earn $4,000 per year, as in 2050, it is expected that he will earn more than $12,000 per year. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the report. Still on economic matters, the World Bank report shows that last year Rwanda's had 21% increase in remittances from diaspora community, which ranked its second country after Tanzania among the countries of the sub-Saharan Africa. Adams Kwizera continues.
The remittance flows to sub-Saharan Africa grew by 6.1% in 2022 to $53 billion. The World Bank report demonstrated that the remittance growth of various countries such as Rwanda, which grew to 21%, and Tanzania at 25%, while other countries' remittance trend increased at 17% in Uganda, 12% in Ghana, and Kenya at 8.5%. In the fourth quarter of 2022, there have been $200 remittance sent to the region of sub-Saharan Africa, which made a cost of 8%, up from 7.8% from previous year of 2021. Local residents believe that the remittance contributes much to the country's economy. The remittances helps us, like when we are stuck having a project. There we get assisted by our brothers or sisters living abroad. Literally, it really helps the person when he or she needs that money urgently. During the Inclusive FinTech Forum, which took place in Kigali, the Central Bank of Rwanda licensed a company named MVend to kick off money transfer services to its customers in Rwanda and abroad. Bobson Rugambwa noted that the aim of this company was to provide cheap money transfer services.
The license we got allows us to do e-money issuance, so that means that we can provide a wallet and users are able to do P2P transfers and payments, but also it covers remittances, so that means that we'll be able to provide cross-border transfers for our clients. The market is growing. It's interesting. Fintech across the whole continent is growing. There is high adoption in different markets. And even on the Rwandan market, the adoption of cashless payments and digital savings is growing at a tremendous level, and so that is enabling us to expand.
The Ministry of ICT and Innovation demonstrated that its ICT sector strategy of that within 2023, it will hit the target of realizing $5 billion investment opportunities for ICT related and creating over 100,000 jobs, plus creating 100 homegrown companies with a market capitalization of at least $50 million each by 2030. Technology expert and second vice president of the Private Sector Federation, PSF, Kimenyi Aimable, pointed out that there is investment going on, even though there is still a long way to go. In PSF, we are collecting countrywide survey where the investment is needed and how the investment could benefit to the residents. That's why we are doing everything to support the startups in order to know what's needed in the country through creating that ecosystem, which is not mainly in the technology sector. The National Circular Economy Action Plan and Roadmap demonstrates that in 2020, the technology sector in Rwanda contributed 3.4% of the country's GDP due to the growth of 29%. This sector of technology is expected to account 5% of all registered jobs by 2024 and increase the number of graduates to 135,000 by 2024. Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams, for the informative report. Now to education matters. According to the administration of the secondary school for people with disabilities, especially those who have speaking and hearing impairments, which is located in the Ngoma sector of Huye district, the lack of adequate practical materials is a major obstacle to the development of the students in the school. Details on this story. Out of the 12 sewing machines that are in the classroom, only 5 of them are operational. None of the other 10 sewing machines that the head of state donated in 2003 still function since the school lacked the funds to repair them. One of the teachers at the school, Martin Nyiransabimana, says that this hinders students to acquire skills properly. This is also emphasized by Brother Emmanuel Ndagijimana, a teacher in this school, who also noted that the financial capacity of the school is still low. The fact that we don't have enough appropriate materials severely affects them. Let's say if there is an opportunity at the labor market to knit clothes, they will not get it because they don't know how to do it, and the opportunity will be grabbed by others.
We have those challenges because we get the materials hardly, and sometimes we have to find it ourselves by doing our fundraising, and sometimes this affects us because at some point we can't afford it.
The administration of the school say that they have reached out to various authorities, yet it's been 5 years without an answer. Brother Munyaneza Jean-Claude, the headmaster of the school, said that the lack of adequate materials highly affects the results expected. He requests assistance so that the school can also be recognized as a TVET school.
When students don't have appropriate materials, they do not get enough skills, and this strictly reduces the productivity expected. We would also love to be recognized as a TVET school.
The mayor of Huye district, in charge of social affairs, Annonciata Kanyesha, points out that the Ministry of Education is aware of the issue. They also told their request to the Minister of Education. The Rwanda Basic Education also knows it. They really need a TVET school. Secondly, we are going to do the advocacy so that the RTB can visit them because there are some short courses that they also provide. This secondary school for children with disabilities currently has 54 students studying vocational courses. In the National Strategic Transformation, the government's program of 7 years includes strategies to support people with disabilities in completing their degrees. Additionally, it is said that the TVET school will be supported and increase students to 60% from 46.4%. Thank you for staying with us. Have a blessed and fruitful week ahead. See you next.